Without my disability and without me being mixed race, I wouldn't be Martic Sinclair.
Black. England. I'm proud.
I was born with cerebral palsy in 1986, June 27th. I got diagnosed as cerebral palsy. The doctors told my parents that I wasn't normal.
Wow.
But it was quite lucky that my parents always looked at my disability in a positive way than a negative way. Being black at that time was easy because I had all my questions answered by my dad, but being mixed race and having a disability was even harder because there was no role models about in the 80s who I could look up to. And the role model I had was my dad and my family members as well, and that's why it was quite lucky that they always looked at my disability in a positive way than a negative way.
How did you actually get into football, and what was the real draw for you?
Sport was a massive thing for me because my dad was a role model. He was a semi-professional footballer.
Wow.
So every Saturday I used to watch him play, and it used to open my eyes up how good he was and the smile on his face and what he went through as a kid playing football, and I just wanted to be part of that. So I started my journey playing football was at a local side. I wanted to be like anybody else and just kick a ball about, obviously.
So you're playing mainstream at the very beginning?
Mainstream, because there was no disability pan-disability things around, so that's why I had to come out of my comfort zone.
How did you find that competing against able-bodied kids, should we call it?
I didn't know any different. Obviously, like I said, I didn't have an identity when I was younger, but that was a good thing because I had to push my boundaries. I had to come out of my comfort zone and try new things, and that was me. The strength doesn't come from what you can do, it's overcoming the things that you didn't think was possible.
Through that journey as that youngster, when did it start to happen for you, and when was the progression within playing football at grassroots?
So the journey was when I played for Twitter Athletic, probably 12, 13 at the time. Scored a hat-trick.
Oh, okay.
But that excitement was short-lived because I got reported to the local FA. I was banned for 2 months because they said it was because I had a disability. And luckily enough that Andy Nicholson was the one who said, no, don't worry about it, we're going to fight this. And we won the case, and that what led me on to say, I can do something else with this. I can change people's perception on a disability. Obviously, I didn't find out about disability football until I was 21. So the whole mindset was from that, just to prove people wrong that every week I can play against able-bodied people.
Yeah, you've been breaking barriers for such a long time, Martin. Who did you ever want to emulate as a footballer?
Seriously?
Yeah.
My dad.
Yeah.
My dad was the perfect role model and the ambassador of why I wanted to be who I am today. So, but it was Andy Cole when I was younger. He didn't get much respect playing for England because there was obviously things going around saying he has to have 5 chances to score 1 and stuff like that. So, but I used to love that bloke.
Yeah, Andy Cole, Goal King Cole.
Yeah.
I remember that, some of his videos in our day, for what he used to do, incredible. What was family life and growing up for you? What was that like, being a mixed race family in Bath?
The family was amazing, obviously, being a mixed race family in the 1980s and 1990s as well, when my brother was born as well. It felt no different because we used to go around at my nan's every Sunday, chicken, rice and peas, and the reggae used to come on, and we'll have laughs and banter, and that's what it's all about, bringing family together and not judging anyone and everyone, and it's fun times. It was very, very fun times when we were younger.
Sometimes I'm knocked sideways by just the footballing talent within your family, and you being the head of that,
I'm glad you said the head.
Yeah,
I am the head of the brothers.
Most definitely, and how did you sort of push each other on and get to where you're going? Because I just think, wow, what a journey that you've all had, and I take it you'd have all supported each other. You'd have supported Scott more than anyone, I can imagine.
Of course. Like I said, we got the destiny of CEO of our own journey, our own books, or our own autobiographies. So we have our own stories. So I could never be jealous of Scott because he's living his own dreams and aspirations, and that's what he wanted to do. So me supporting him as an older brother, trying to make it at a pro level, it's just dedication and determination to push him on. A brother couldn't be jealous of what he's achieved.
Yourself and your brother both made it to London 2012, the biggest event we've had in this country. What were your takeaway memories, and just what was that experience like for you guys to enjoy as a family?
It was a proud moment because obviously I didn't think it was possible when I dislocated my hip at 15 and being in a wheelchair for 4 or 5 years and trying to walk again, and obviously little steps made it. I couldn't look at the bigger picture, but when I got that phone call from Lyndon Lynch saying you're part of Team GB, I started crying. Just because Scott was in the Olympic team as well, I think, because we've made history, and then obviously Paralympics coming and the first open ceremony, walking out in front of 80,000 people shouting Team GB. I did lose my head a little bit. I ran into the crowd.
I remember.
I ran into the crowd and tried to surf up the crowd, and then and it was just a massive, massive experience of what I've achieved and how far I've come.
Your attitude when you speak, you say everything with a smile on your face, but you just dropped in there when I dislocated and broke my hip, and as though it's nothing. Listen, I don't know, if people realise just all the things you've had to come through. You've always kept going with that same smile on your face, but can you even tell us about that time? What was the lowest point that you had then?
My dad and my mum always drilled it into me, you can't moan about your situation you're in because there's someone else worse off than you. So yes, I did have a hip replacement. I was in a wheelchair for four and a half years. I've had 20 operations on my hip. Wow. But like I said, I can't not moan about the situation because, like I said, I'm making my own story, and some chapters is longer than others, and that chapter was longer. But it's only gave me a mindset of proving people wrong and giving people the belief that there's anything is possible.
If I was to ask you for a career highlight that you've had, what would you say? Can you put your finger on one moment?
It's probably getting probably called up for England when I went down to Home Park and scored 2 goals against Liverpool at Plymouth, and then someone said, "Oh, there's an England scout watching." I just thought, this could be it. This could be my stepping stone to changing people's perception.
So 2009, you're the only black face in the team, and we go on 2 years, 2011, and then there's a debut for one Alistair Patrick-Heselton.
Yeah.
And you see another black face turning up. How did that make you feel? Did you feel that you weren't on your own, or was it no different for you?
It was good to see another black face in the team, to be honest. Obviously your story is second to none, and from what you've achieved is unbelievable. And it's good to have that role models around. Yeah, what I mean, because obviously you can't do it by yourself. Yeah. If you want to change people's perception and change people's beliefs that you can change that society, you need help. Yeah. And that was my mindset. It was winning medals, but building a legacy that you inspire the next generation, the younger generation coming through, and say if they can do it as black and disabled, they can do it as well.
You've gone through your football career, your great football career with limited contact with, let's say, black people specifically, and then you go into your coaching journey, which you're in now. Yeah. When you arrived as a coach, did you see players and coaches like yourself, or were you trailblazing all over again? So
it was good for parents and kids who was in charge of that pathway like me, because there was a person in the workforce with a disability working as a development officer, building the disability elite game. They probably haven't seen a person like me who's got a disability, who's mixed race, at a job. Not many people in the football community, football pathway, have got a disability. So with who are disability development officers, there's not many disabled people in those job titles.
Society as a whole is talking about disability a lot more, and the black community are starting to talk about disability a lot more. But do you think football's doing enough to talk about disability?
From where it was when I was born, 80s, 90s as well, it's grown massively. I think London 2012 was probably the massive turning point for everyone to look at people's ability rather than their disability when it showcased it on TV. Then obviously it's seeing yourself doing public speaking, me doing stuff at Southampton and playing for England as well. It just needs more and more people to obviously represent. You know, I always look at the disability football game like the women's game back when the women's game wasn't that big, and look where the women's game is now. So anything is possible.
Wow, do you know what a journey you've been on, and to think I didn't know, like, you know, not even half of that, Martin, you know, it really is incredible and a real privilege for me to even say you're my friend, you know. If I was to like put in a nutshell, I'd say black, English and proud. That word proud, like, you know, how does it make you feel when you pull all of those together?
Without being mixed race, having a disability, I wouldn't be Martic Sinclair. So I am glad to be mixed race, having a disability and having the personality that I've got, because I wouldn't change nothing. If you put an able-bodied person in front of me and myself, I would pick myself all the time, because it's being the best version of myself.
Right, you're my guy.